We're going to talk today about oil changes in your Mini, second generation Mini. So you've got your N12 engine, N14, N16 and N18. But when to change the oil in those engines. Two of them are turbocharged and two are not, but it's basically going to apply to all the engines. Okay, so we're just going to go through today about when to change the oil. Sounds a simple question, but I'm not going to give you a quick simple answer because you need to know the background. Once you know the background to it, then you'll understand the answer. So if you want to know the quick answer, just go on to later in this video. But first of all, what we're going to do is we're going to start by explaining the whole system with these engines and oils and the new oils, and then you'll understand why we get to the answer we do. And please stick with us because it's really important to understand that, because once you understand that, then you understand why you need to change your oil or when you need to change it. Okay, so let's flip them on. This is the N14 engine, so it's a turbocharged, so it's the first generation of the second series engine, which is the N14, and the second generation of this engine in the second generation of Minis is the N18. There's some few differences, and one of them is the way the oil works, so I'll get onto that in a minute. So she's got a turbo on here, obviously oil filler cap and oil. Okay, so these engines were designed, they were trying to be really green and environmentally friendly and everything. And of course, as always, they made the bloody thing more environmentally friendly by the fact that it burns loads and loads of oil. But we'll come on to why that is a little later on. So the thing is, they made the tolerances. They try to use thinner and thinner oils. Now, why they use the thinner oils is because they're trying to improve, and they're not bothered about the engine and the longevity of the engine. They're trying to reduce the amount of friction in the engine to try and make the fuel economy and in a sense make the engine more green. So what they do is they use a standard on here, I think is 530, and some, I don't even in America they might go down to 020. So we're getting to really thin oils. Now, compared to the older thicker oils used in the older engines, these thinner oils, they've had to redesign the engine slightly to use these thinner oils, and one of the things they've done is to reduce the tolerances. If you think the bearings and the crank and everything, look, the tolerances are less. Okay, so let's just think of it as a smaller gap. You know, old oil had a big gap like that, so obviously not literally that big, but they've just reduced that gap. And the reason that is obviously because the oil's thinner, so you're going to get thinner film of oil. And the way they've done it is by reducing the tolerance and having a higher flow rate of oil. So I've spent a lot of time researching on oils and things like that, which is for another video, but I'll come straight to the point of all that research. Was basically what's more important almost than the viscosity to a certain point is the quality of the additives in the oil. So if you've got a 5W30 in here, and now if you use a cheap 5W30, then it hasn't got as good quality additives in it, and it's not going to last as long. Likewise, if you use a really top quality premium oil, it's got additives in it that will last longer. So we need to go through all this with the additives so you understand. So the additives are there to basically, very simply, to keep the oil functioning as it should do as the temperature of these engines rise. The problem is, funny enough, there's another video I'm going to put out after this about installing a temperature gauge. But when you look for temperature gauge, or traditional temperature gauge, which goes into the oil flow, they all say, well, the red light comes on at 100 degrees. Which was normal. Anything running 100 degrees was basically overheating. But these engines are designed to run up, I mean, the fan doesn't even come on till about 115 to 117 degrees. So the engines are running extremely hot, way hotter than they should be, which is why the quality of the oil is so critical, because obviously oil wants to go to like water the hotter it gets. And this is where these additives try and bind and keep it all together and keep the flow rates constant. So if you think about, you've got a tighter salt tolerance, you need this flow rate of oil to go through there, and you need the oil to stay at pretty much constant sort of viscosity, hence all these additives. So a good quality oil will have additives that last a lot longer, and a bad quality cheaper oil will have additives that don't last 5 minutes. So there you can see straight away that the good quality oil is going to last a bit longer than the bad quality. So it is how long is a piece of string with this oil change thing. So if you've got a turbo, you're going to be running even hotter. Yeah. So the engines are running at 117, but the oils are going to be even hotter than that. So it is ridiculously high temperature for oil, which is why the oil degrades really quickly. So then if we look at another thing with these engines, I don't know, for the young people you probably won't remember because he didn't have it. But basically the older guys, we know that there used to be a big difference between a diesel and a petrol, because the oil in a diesel engine would be black and the oil in a petrol engine would always be some form of brown. You know, it could be a bit of a darker brown, but it was always definitely a brown. If you had a black oil coming out of a petrol engine, you were like really worried. But these new modern engines, as you know, the oil goes black. So why is that? It's because you've got blow-by, because what they've done again to try and design an efficient engine is that they've put piston rings with not as much force, if you imagine, against the bores, and they've designed, specifically this engine comes standard with piston rings that are sort of plastic coated and with slits in them, so it basically drinks oil. So what happens there is it's not only drinking the oil. The reason it's drinking the oil because when the explosion happens, you get what's called blow-by. So you get part of that explosion goes beside the ring, past the rings, and then that obviously goes into the oil setup of here, and that's why you get a positive crankcase pressure, which is why you have this whole positive crankcase ventilation system to try and vent all that pressure in there. But that pressure means that you're getting exhaust gases going and mixing up with the oil. Well, obviously that's why your oil goes black. So it's going black because it's getting all the impurities from the combustion being mixed up with the oil. So you've then got that, so then the additives help with that. So again, this is why better quality additives means better quality for oil, which means that you can keep it running for longer without an oil change. The study that I've been looking at research is basically saying that a 0.20 weight oil with really good quality premium additives can actually almost be better than a 5.30 oil with bad additives, or a cheap version. Obviously this engine has been specified for 5.30. I would never put 0.20 in it, but 5.30, put yourself in good quality premium 5.30, because it's a lot cheaper to put good quality oil in it than it is to rebuild your engine or change it. Okay? Now some people might say, well, put a thicker oil in it. Now you've got to be really careful with that. It sounds like a good and simple solution, but it's a lot more complicated. So the N16 and the N18 are with a modified version of this N14 or N12 engine, and what they have is an electronic EC controlled oil pump. And again, if you think about it, the oil pump is looking at the pressure. It looks at the pressure to see how much oil is, then the flow rate of oil across that say bearing surface. And so the ECU is controlling that pressure. So if you put thicker oil in here, straight away the pressure goes up, because it's trying to push a thicker oil through a thin gap, so the pressure is going to build up. So the ECU goes, oh, got loads of pressure here, that means I must have loads of flow rate of the oil going through the bearing, so it will reduce the pressure down to a pressure level that it has been mapped with to coincide with a certain flow rate of oil. And because you've put thicker oil in it, that basically means, long story short, that you're not now getting anything near the flow rate of oil across that thin gap. Okay, you've got a little bit of thicker oil, but that flow rate won't be enough to compensate. So what in actual fact, you're going to get more wear with a cold, thicker oil in there. Once the oil is really hot, then things may be different. So on cold startups and things like that, the heavier oil is going to do a lot more damage to your engine. So it's not quite as simple as that. So as for the type of oil, I stick with a 530 premium oil with good additives. Okay. Now, the service book. Everyone goes, oh, well, the service book says X, Y, and Z. And then BMW, they said there was a long life. You can run long life servicing, which I think was something criminal, or something like 20,000 kilometers or 20,000 miles. Now you know what you know. That is basically like saying to a kid who loves lots of sweets, saying, well, look, if you want to brush your teeth with this toothpaste, it'll be like once a week, but if you put a little bit more of that toothpaste in, or a little bit better quality, then you can run it at you can clean your teeth every month. Well, that's criminal. You know that's going to ruin the kid's teeth. Same with this. So the service manual is not interested in the longevity of the engine or anything. It's all purely about making you feel, oh, okay, 20,000 miles is okay, or 10,000 miles is fine. Forget about what the service manual says, and this is for all of the modern engines. So I'm not even looking at the service manual on here, but I think it is 10 or 20,000 kilometers if you can do the long service. They don't care about the longevity of this engine. Okay, so the truth and the answer to answer your question now that you sort of understand what I'm saying about the oils, the temperatures that this engine is running in, the tolerances and everything, so you need to be buying yourself the best quality oil. And now when I tell you that when you should be changing oil, you'll be like, you won't be quite as shocked. You need to be changing oil on these engines at 5,000 kilometers. If it's a non-turbo and you don't drive it hard, then maybe you can get away with 5,000 miles or 8,000 kilometers. But you need to be changing the oil every maximum 5,000 miles, which is 8,000 kilometers. If you're running a turboed engine and you're pushing it harder, I would change the oil every 5,000 kilometers. And I'll say that again, 5,000 kilometers, because that is the stage when your oil will have disintegrated because of the temperatures that it's running and the blow-by. Yeah, now if you've changed your piston rings and you've got proper, because you can do a refresh like we've done on this engine, and you've got traditional piston rings, you don't get as much blow-by and the oil won't go as black as quick, but it's still running with all these temperature problems that are way too hot for your standard oils. So 5,000 so I change this every 5,000 kilometers. I buy myself a massive box of filters, and then when you buy your oil, guys, don't buy like 5 litres, buy 20 litre tubs. If you buy 20 litre tubs of 530 premium, you can get the price right down to sort of like £5 a litre. Then suddenly it's not so bad. So we do this every 5,000 kilometers. Quickly change the filter, change the oil, bang, you're done. Doesn't take 5 minutes, and that is how you can protect your oil. Now, if you do that, it means that your engine is going to run a lot longer, and it's going to be a lot cheaper for the oil to buy oil to change than it is to have this engine fully refreshed, which is like new pistons and things like that. So as I said, the tolerances are so much tighter that you'll find. So when we did the refresh on this, we found that the cam journals are much more worn than you would normally find because of the low tolerances, and also these things burn oil when they haven't had the new rings in it, and the oil level goes down and you get a starved flow of oil up the top. So to finalize, change the oil every 5,000 kilometers. Okay, hope this useful video has been helpful. If you've got any comments, send me a comment, which I'm sure people will be saying, oh, you know, you need to do longer than that, blah blah blah. Anyway, if you like the channel, subscribed, and the most important thing, just remember, you can always do it, and we'll see you on the next video.